Hello, fellow armchair Imagineers. It's your podcasting compatriot, Tiki, here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And Jacob Wile too.
And together we are the Big Podcast 3!
Yeah. La la la
It's
la.
more hardcore than Duckworth's Ghost.
Yes. More spooky too.
All right, how you guys doing tonight, gentlemen?
Doing all right.
Filled with maximum effort.
All right, so tonight we're talking over season 1, episode 16 of Big Hero 6, the series. This features what will perhaps be the most marketable character in all of Big Hero 6, Minimax.
You know there are already toys out for Minimax.
I am not surprised in the slightest. I'm really not. I actually think Minimax was probably created as like a Schumacher style, like, hey, we can make a toy out of this. So I gotta say, this episode, I'm really liking the Granville side of things with this episode. We got some really juicy details about that stuff. Very much kind of Jacob, you'll relate to this more than Dragon does. Very much kind of like a Dumbledore Tom Riddle dynamic we've got going on with Granville, and I love it. Unfortunately, I don't know. You guys obviously feel free to disagree. We often do on this show. I liked the Minimax stuff. I wasn't crazy about it, and I think it could have been handled a little better. So that's kind of where I land on the show. Love the hero plot line. Not crazy about the Minimax stuff. It was good. It's, it's certainly not like one of the lesser plot lines of the show by any means, but I don't know. Maybe I was just so enamored with the Granville stuff that I just kind of wanted to keep going back to that. What do you guys think?
Dragon.
All right. Well, I thought the episode was great. It was fun. It was really plot filled, chock full of plot, which in this case was really good. I think the episode approached a lot of things really smartly. Minimax, in regards to Minimax surprised me. He was voiced by an actor I recognize. I love. He's played by the great John Michael Higgins, and I love John Michael Higgins. So good. I mean, Tiki, you'll know him from most recently.
Oh, I know him.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Tiki knows things. All right.
I know this might come as a shock, but
yeah, I know. I first.
Hey, I'll school you on Disneyland history, buddy.
All right. My point is, John Michael Higgins, like you've seen him in bit parts all over the place.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing. Like I prominently, one of my favorite performances of John Michael Higgins was in Legend of Korra. He played Varric, kind of this Howard Stark kind of very Howard Hughesian kind of industrialist. He was hilarious. And of course, Riddler and Batman Brave and the Bold meets Scooby-Doo recently. So, but yes, Minimax is really doing it for me because it was fun. It was an energized performance that Michael Higgins is he's so adept at.
The performance was fun. I thought that the whole sidekick thing with Fred was a little bit. I didn't quite know. Like it's once again basically my whole issue with it. It's not really with the episode. It's with the Fred character as a whole. They're really playing up the whole Fred is a dope angle. I mean, I get that that's his character, but I don't know. I didn't love the fact that Minimax was basically created as a babysitter. Right? That whole plot line. I guess I get what they're going for it, but I
love what they're going for with it. I love that idea. They're addressing the Fred issue by fixing it, and I love it.
All right. I don't know why it didn't hit me the right way. Like I said, it's not that I didn't like it. I guess my heart I think at the end of the day, it's not that I didn't like all the Minimax stuff. I just thought the Granville stuff was so much more interesting, whereas the Minimax stuff was kind of basically the way I break it down is that the Granville stuff was sort of our big slice of plot pie, if you will. Harry Osborn would be very pleased. But then the Minimax stuff is just kind of like a fun and entertaining subversion of some superhero tropes, which is kind of like the status quo for this show. You know what I mean? So the Minimax stuff was kind of like the typical episode format, whereas the Granville stuff was like, oh man, yeah.
Jacob, what do you think?
I'll probably agree with both of you on this one. I really liked both aspects of the show. Like, I really liked the character of Minimax as a whole. He was like it was very fun to watch, and of course the stuff with Granville was a great delight. It was a great delight, of course, as well. And seeing the continuing relationship between teacher and student with Hero and Hero is quite interesting relationship to unfold.
Right.
So I really want to talk about, because we have limited time here, and I
Mhm.
really want to make sure we give proper due to the scene. I really want to talk about Callahan. I'm dying to talk about
Yeah.
Callahan.
Oh,
All
yeah, I
right.
love it.
So,
Oh man.
I wanted to mention that, but I didn't know if we wanted to go into that early.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's an appropriate place to start because I think it's by far the best scene in the episode, honestly.
so we're going. So Cat one, we brought back James Cromwell, which I'm so glad we brought him back
Yes,
for the
yes.
role. I love again. It's kind of having our cake and eating too. That we're continuing the show, but we can still call back to the movie now and again in a big way, and we kind of did that here with Callahan, and we kind of deepened the relationship
What I
between
love about this is I
Hero.
feel like I feel like it fixes a big mistake of the movie, which is that Callahan didn't feel like he had a lot of remorse for Tadashi in the movie, just with the limited screen time he gets as like the twist villain. Because
Oh,
basically in the movie, all we get is that whole moment like, Tadashi made his choice. You know what I mean? And it's ridiculous, and it comes off as very dismissive and supervillain-esque. And
I think you're
with
thinking of
this,
Man of Steel with that line, Tiki. I think you're thinking Krypton had its chance. I don't know if you're.
no, I'm just saying, like, I recently watched a review of Big Hero 6 that pointed this out. That's why it's kind of fresh in my head. So I apologize if I'm kind of, but seriously, the whole Tadashi made his choice. It's like,
I really don't remember that part of the movie.
it's like, oh, I swear to God, rewatch the big Callahan villain reveal. It's like the one bit of remorse he has about Tadashi is like, oh well, that was his fault.
Technically, he's not wrong. I mean, technically,
But here, Callahan, what I love about this scene is Hero. This might be my favorite scene of the whole series so far.
Oh yeah, it's a great lesson in kind of in kind of complication and forgiveness. That Hero he knows that Callahan was trying to save someone. Of course, he went about every single wrong way possible. But at the same token, again, Callahan, he was Hero's mentor. So there's that great complicated relationship between the two of them, and it's still like he's trying to forgive him on behalf of his brother, but he's not there yet. But he's like, and see like the Tadashi, you see that Callahan still frustrated over Tadashi. It's like, oh man,
Tadashi would have wanted me to forgive you. Maybe someday I can.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the animation on Hero where he can't even he can't even look at Callahan, and the responses he does give are very forced. Like it's hard for him to even acknowledge what this guy is saying, but at the same time, Hero knows that he's kind of being unfair to him to a certain extent. And I love it. There's so many layers there. I want to see more of that explored.
Very exciting.
Like
So speaking of,
to me, I'll say this much: Callahan and Hero and their arc, their dynamic was way more interesting in these 2 minutes of screen time than it was in the entire movie. Like I feel like it elevated the material, honestly.
all right, all right. Let's talk about the Granville stuff.
Yes, yes. So, as I already alluded to, Jacob, do you get my my Tom Riddle Albus Dumbledore analogy?
A little bit.
A little
Yep.
bit. All right.
I mean, I get it.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, it's the classic like
Mentoring the villain kind of thing.
okay, you know what? I'll go with a Captain America. I understand that reference for Dragon. All right, you ready, Dragon?
Sure.
It's like a Luke Skywalker Ben Solo type situation.
All right.
Look, Dragon, I say that as a compliment that you're not like a deep cut Parter fan that like Jacob and I are. Like we're kind of a pathetic lot, honestly.
Right. So yeah, so Granville. Okay, so
I'm
Granville
not speaking for
was.
myself. I'm speaking from like observation of other Potter fans, like at Universal Studios and stuff. And it's like I'm kind of on the fringes of the Potter fan base. But I'm sorry, Dragon. Go ahead.
All right, so Granville was a very interesting misdirect, and the mystery with Granville was very well executed. And again, it looked like, oh my god, Granville's turning villain. I never expected that. She's building these security bots, essentially, kind of the spiders, as Fred calls them, if you will.
Oh wait, they're not spiders. They're giant robots. Oh crap! I'm not sure which is worse.
I love pairing Granville and Hero together in this crisis situation. By the way, I really love that pairing. Kind of, they're locked in SFID, and they kind of in a very dire situation, which kind of forces them to really kind of open up to each other and trust each other. Where again, there was a mentorship there, but now they're really kind of like Hero is starting to doubt that with Granville hiding secrets about her past. And speaking of which, we got to talk about the flashback. The flashback is awesome.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Essentially, the flashback. Yeah.
What do you expect? What do you think this dangerous experiment was?
Well, I think whatever this experiment is, it's the reason we have that purple thing with Obake's face.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that
It
little
said he
purple effect.
survived. Yeah, because it revealed that he survived, but was like severely injured.
Yeah, and of course we saw like he had this hair in front of his face, and I believe I'm trying to remember if, like which side of his face. I don't. It might have been the opposite side of his face. I might just be misremembering which side the purple thing. I don't know. We'll find out. The point is, we basically revealed that Obake has kind of a Doctor Doom origin, which is kind of neat. Where Doctor Doom he did like a very dangerous experiment which literally blew up in his face, and he blamed Reed Richards for it. And that's essentially what he's got going on here with Granville. His professor, his mentor, did not give him enough limitations, and again, she took the blame for it because she felt it was her responsibility. And I'm getting a sense that Obake feels the same way. And my big theory for all of this, just very simply, is that again, just based on the batting average of Obake, I mean, you could just read it. Okay, well, he kind of lost one for the first time, but I really think Obake wanted Hero to know this backstory and basically know the big Granville reveal, and I think he's going to be getting revenge on her via Hiro Hamada. That's what I think this whole episode's kind of hinting at.
Well, what I like about this situation is that it basically forces Hero and Granville into like, okay, we have to respect each other more. We have to take each other more seriously after this, especially on Granville's side of things. Like Granville's much more like, all right, I have to be on the level with you now. And because of that, this is like, to me, the biggest strength of the episode is the fact that the status quo of the show with their relationship has legitimately shifted.
Basically summed up by her quote, I guess I haven't earned your trust. Like, I guess I haven't earned your trust.
Exactly, Jacob. Good. That's just a perfect way to sum up. Like, okay, these two are kind of on more even footing now.
All right, so really quick, Tiki, get us to the next image here so I can say this real quick about our other pairing of the episode. Of course, we have Fred and Minnie Max, and we've already kind of gone for the wonderful performance of John Michael Higgins. But what I love about this, when I was watching the episode, this occurred to me, I was delighted, especially when his wings are out. Minnie Max, if only his suit were red like Baymax's, he looks just like the first design of Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. It was the little red version of the Tempest from Morph design of Buzz Lightyear. It was like he looked just like it. But seriously, piggybacking off the Buzz Lightyear thing, I just wanted to say that I love that basically Minnie Max is like diluted Buzz meets Baymax. It's essentially what they did with this character, where again he's kind of he's this delusional. He has such big personality yet being such a small character. And I love the crux of the episode. I love the whole. It's such a smart thing to address with superheroes that people always either gripe about or make very good observations about. That there's a lot of structural damage with superheroes sometimes. And Spider-Man, The Incredibles, especially Superman, and going years back, there was definitely some collateral issues, and we're addressing that with the most kind of free bird of all the heroes on the Big Hero 6, and it's like the perfect way of addressing that. Kind of a damage control kind of. Kind of a spotter for damage control in a way.
It's nice it's kind of nice that Fred never actually finds out or feels betrayed about that kind of thing.
Yeah, he just takes it. I'm getting a sidekick. Awesome. which is nice, and then, of course even Minimax kind of comes around on that, kind of breaks his program and just a smidge there, and just saying, okay, he's just like you. Basically, he was so amazed that Fred used the fact that he is a threat. basically a threat to safety and a threat to property structural damage to kind of his advantage when he basically broke the security bots with
Okay, that
logic.
was hilarious.
It wasn't. That little touch made everything so relative, and I loved
You
it.
know what? Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up because that was by far, to me, the best Minimax moment of the episode. Just and probably one of the funniest Fred bits in the whole series, honestly. Just the whole fact that like Fred is like such an idiot that just all these highly advanced computer systems just crash and burn around him through his sheer lunacy when he's trying to spin something.
It's classic logic paradox.
Yes.
Really quick, the writers in this episode kind of cater to one of my most favorite easy comedy gags, which is slow motion with the oh no.
Oh no.
Like it's so easy. It's almost a cheat, but you know what? Slow motion gets a laugh out of me every time. Every time it never fails.
Baymax is like gonna delight in this episode.
We have this really sweet moment I want to highlight real quick. I love the whole moment between him and Minimax, where Minimax is kind of dismissive towards Baymax. And it's this moment that kind of establishes those two characters, where he says, or Baymax says, "I'm a healthcare companion." He says, "We all serve in our own ways."
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, Baymax, at the end of the day, he's more a healthcare provider than he is a superhero, and he just kind of wears the hero mantle when he has to.
Mm-hmm.
Globby. We got to talk Globby for a spell here. Just Globby.
Sure, because Globby is once again another good example of.
I was not designed for jumping.
just the continuity of Globby. You know, I feel like this show, it got off to kind of a rough footing in those first few episodes where we really weren't impressed. We weren't overly impressed, and we were like, well, we really hope that the show finds its footing eventually. And I think the show really has quickly come into its own, because it's like, yeah, we've got this side villain who's kind of like a comedic relief, but even then, every time we see him, his powers just get more and more advanced.
This is the thing that cracks me up about Globby. He's so powerful, yet he thinks so small. Like he's stealing change from a well.
Exactly.
Well, change from like a little wishing fountain.
Yeah. Like, I wish for a really big pony. That's called a horse.
Of course, we had Tiki. There's this. I think I read somewhere. I don't know how official this is, but some people believe that the whole Cockney accent gag is based on Mary Poppins.
Oh, I am not surprised. Yeah. Can I just say, by the way, Dragon, I know you're not looking forward to Mary Poppins Returns, but
I'm not against it. I'm just, I'm not
okay. I'm just saying, like, I want to give the marketing department on that movie props, because I feel like it's the same marketing department we have for Christopher Robin, where they ain't revealing shit about that movie, and I love it. And it's to the point where if they release a second trailer for that movie, I might not even watch it because I want to go in blind.
Pretty much, she's back, and there's Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda's the Burt character. She's back. Emily Blunt, good to go.
Got some good music. It's like kind of a trifecta.
Yeah, right.
That's about it. All right.
How good it is to see you. Anyways.
All right, okay, Jacob, is there anything we missed?
No, I can't really think of anything else that we missed. I mean, pretty much went over everything major other than like a few minor gags.
I think maybe, of course, not every episode has to be an ensemble episode, but man, they really do push most, like Fred, Wasabi, and Go-Go off to the sidelines this episode.
True, but there's just one thing I did notice I really liked with Fred in this episode. The fact that...
I'm sorry, not Fred. Fred's a focal point. I mean Honey Lemon. Like, that's the thing. Honey Lemon is like, does Honey Lemon even have a line in this episode?
Oh, wait, they had the mermaid's tail, remember?
yeah, that was like the one good scene that the group had together. And I guess, I guess if as long as an episode has one good group scene, that's, that's a successful ensemble as far as I'm concerned. So
I love that it was like, it's a parody of The Handmaid's Tale. Like,
oh, God.
I found that really, really funny. But
if you don't cry when the mermaid gets the spear, you're just not human.
Yeah, I tell you, having finished Mad Men recently, and Elizabeth Moss, she's really good, and I hear she dazzles in Handmaid's Tale, so that's pretty much what I've been,
I tried to read the book Handmaid's Tale, and it was just like oppressively depressing.
Really?
So I was like, yeah, I'm not sure if that series is for me.
Anyway,
And again, I love The Leftovers, which is at some points oppressively depressing. So, you know.
it's one quick observation. That's all I got. Is that Fred? Because Fred doesn't go to SFit, he's the man on the streets when the rest of them are busy with school. I did like that kind of thing.
I like that idea too. Yeah, that's a good kind of you know, it makes sense from a role building perspective here.
But
Of course, why they have to have backup on Fred, because if he's on left to his own devices without backup, bad stuff could happen.
yeah, it's what led to the problem to begin with.
That was literally my life's work.
Do we have any interesting episode titles revealed, or is the bot fighter still the last one?
Yeah, pretty much still where we left off.
Okay.
There, Tiki.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it, folks. Thank you so much for watching. We had a little bit of a shakeup in the schedule. We were intending on doing a DuckTales Season 1 retrospective this weekend. That kind of had to get pushed back a little bit. Rest assured, Jacob and I still plan on doing that. And of course, we will be back next week to recap. Dragon, what's next week's episode?
Well, remember, September. The next episode.
Yeah, Labor Day's the hiatus, right?
Okay, so not the next week, folks, but the week after, approximately the week after. We'll have Big Hero 7, which is sounds like a biggie. Of course, like 7.
Do you have the episode description on that one yet?
On that one, no.
No. Okay.
There's nothing on that one. Anything else is just kind of vague. Like Big Problems is kind of vague. Like some bigs happening is about it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a Big Hero 7. So that sounds like a really kind of monolithic title. Like, we're changing the name. Unite the Big Hero 7.
I think if they don't have the whole like Carmi hero identity reveal in that episode, that'd be a missed opportunity.
Unless the episode doesn't involve Carmi at all.
I'm saying that's fair.
Yes, but at this point, I think I'd be surprised to say the least if the episode doesn't somehow involve Carmi.
Could be. Well, we'll find out.
Oh.
I just want to give a shout out to the folks watching before we leave here. We got Kellen O'Rourke and Demona B as always. Of course, had some very.
Kellen.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, folks, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.
Oh
Oh no.